Are you ready?
Starting now?
Well, now you just messed it up, you knob. God, you know that the shit that we go through for this, huh?
I know. Fuckers better appreciate it. When we started, we were just like, yeah, we're just going to do this, man. You know, shoot our wad into the wind and see what happens. What's the title of this podcast again?
I don't know. I don't know. Something with a penis, I guess.
Right.
Our fucking faces are everywhere now.
Right.
But
you're welcome, ladies.
Right. Popular with the ladies. Right. Oh, I'm not even going to apologize because hopefully it sounds fucking hilarious.
Yeah, totally. This is fucking explicit now.
The explicit button. Let me use my finger.
La, 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 la.
It is time for another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And that episode starts now. All right, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And I can tell you one thing. I am not William Moyers. Are you?
Well, I know I'm not.
I'm
even farther away. At least you're a William.
You know what? I am. I was thinking that, and I'm like, yeah, I don't need to make this about me for once. But no, William Moyers will not be joining us tonight, and I know surely you can't be serious.
Don't call me Shirley. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
God damn it! I thought I was setting you up there. You're just. Are you tired? Are you okay? Are you okay?
I'm wonderful.
Yeah, just fucking around. But so yeah, we got an email from his assistant, and actually an email forwarded from him. The reason it's not important. He had a commitment that he could not
family stuff.
Yeah, family stuff that he had to take care of. So we understand. Granted, yes, we've had him scheduled a few times. It is what it is. He happens to be kind of a big deal. There's got a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
Personally and professionally. So
yeah. Well, I mean, two things, right? So, I mean, as I wrote you in the email back when you forwarded me all the stuff, I said, hey, man, it's family. We were taught very early on, we got sober to be there for our families, to make up for all those years that we weren't there for them and were causing them harm in one way or another. So we completely understand, yes, family and commitments and all that stuff comes before all this stuff. But the best part was his email. He's looking forward to consummating this, which I thought that was wonderful.
Yeah, I did. I saw that too, and I'm like, yeah, okay. So he's using big words, and it sounds funny, but no, the thing of it is, quite honestly, is Mike and I don't think we said it this time, but all along the way, because we first got approached by them back in June or July, something like that.
It's been right. Yeah,
it's coming. It's been at least 4 or 5 months, at least. And first of all, and I know we've said it on here. Why the fuck us? We're not going to tell them anything about us. Don't listen to anything. Just come on here. We just want to get you on here. Just come in and don't act like you've never heard us before. Hopefully you haven't. But then again, when we've had these postponements like this, that's what it is. It's just a postponement. It might be after the first of the year, but it doesn't matter. But we've kind of joked around, but seriously, he's not just said, you know what? I don't need to go on with these fucking yahoos. I don't need to.
Right. No. I mean,
and he doesn't.
He does not. Absolutely not. And he's looking forward to consummating with us. And I'm looking forward to it too.
Yep. We're going to, maybe after the first of the year. So basically what we're going to do is that, I don't want to put pressure. We don't want to put pressure on him. Whenever it works, we're probably not going to promote it the week of like we do. I mean, you'll see it in the episode notes and stuff like that. When the episode is released, whenever he's on, it's not like he's just going to show up and we're not going to, have him on the episode, cover or anything like that. But I think it'll be easier than trying to, put it up, take it down, put it up, take it down, trying to explain, fuck it, he's going to show up one day and we're going to have a wonderful conversation.
Yes, we will.
But on the other side, and this is more, can you believe this? More William Moyers.
All right.
So the sober curator, which we're a part of, and
Right.
Elise, who is the founder of the Sober Curator, they're hosting an event with him this
Really?
coming Thursday. Yep, at Hazelton Betty Ford Bellevue.
Oh,
It's in
cool.
the Overlake Medical Pavilion building on the Overlake Hospital campus. Thursday, November 21st. This coming Thursday, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. That is in Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
It's a free event featuring William Moyers, a light lunch, a talk with William Moyers, Q&A hosted by the Sober Curator founder Elise Bryson, and
Nice.
book signing / sales.
Cool.
Raffle for signed copies of the new book Broken Open, and his first book Broken are going to happen too. So I don't know. I mean, if anyone that's listening to us happens to be in Minneapolis,
Right.
if I had nothing to do, I'd drive to Minneapolis
Right.
and go, okay, listen to you here. You can't get away from me. I'm here. I have a microphone in my car. No, but yeah, so I saw that on the Sober Curator does a weekly email, and I saw it in there, and I had given Elise a heads up that we were going to do it this week, and then obviously let her know, because basically what the Sober Curator is going to promote our episode, the same as they've done with Dr. Sarah and that sort of thing, whenever we get him on here, but yeah, so either way, if anyone out there in SoberNotMature listening land is going to be in Minneapolis on Thursday, stop by the Betty Ford, Hazelton Betty Ford Bellevue.
Wow.
I did so good for a minute.
Use your words.
Overlake Medical Pavilion building on the Overlake Hospital campus. If you don't understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, go to thesobercurator.com, look up William Moyers, you'll be able to see it on there. So there.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah. But
Very cool.
I didn't even ask Elise how that came up, but I know that there's a couple of people that are part of the Sober Curator that I think have loose ties with Hazelden. And have done events with them, not necessarily, and I don't know if the Sober Curator has, but it's not just us with the books and that sort of thing. There's other people within the Sober Curator, I think, that in the recovery community that we are a part of there that have, ties to it. So I don't know how it came up, but, kind of a cool thing. So
absolutely. Yeah. So, if you're over in Brainerd, drive over to the Twin Cities.
Yeah, you know what? Even if you're up there in like Eau Claire or Chippewa Falls,
yeah,
it's not that far, eh? It's just across the river, that big river.
Oh, hey there,
that big river, the Mississippi. Yeah, careful this time of year; it gets a little windy, windy and cold. I know I've said this before, but I was in Eau Claire and Chippewa Falls in January once for a holiday party for the company I was working for that was based out of Eau Claire. And I mean, it's not even fucking funny how cold it is. It's great. Well, you were in Michigan. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah. In the UP, right? And I've been up there for work and stuff too. At that time of year, yes, it's fucking cold.
Yeah, it's brutal. We got out and there was this. It was a cool little like bar supper club that we had the party at, and so we came from Germantown, drove up to, and again it's January, so I mean it's cold, but I don't know if we stayed overnight the night before, but either way, I mean it's 10-20 degrees colder than it was in the Milwaukee area, and then probably another 10 to 15 degrees colder, which half hour fucking north or whatever it was.
Right.
And yeah, you get out of the car to walk through the parking lot, and I mean you're just crunching. I mean the snow is just it's so fucking cold. Yeah, but anyhow, enough. If anyone, I'll complain about the cold all the fucking time because I hate being cold. Fucking hate it. I don't think I complained at all about the heat this summer. I was out in it. I was doing shit. Granted, I'm not out there working on a fucking roof or anything like that.
Right.
And don't hate me for choosing a job that I get to be climate controlled in. But I don't complain about heat anymore. I just don't. After it was so fucking cold a handful of years ago, and as much as I fucking hate it, I'll deal with the heat, man. I don't like the cold.
All right.
My old bones like the cold. Speaking of old bones, hi, Mike.
Hi.
I'm guessing that hopefully, I mean, do you have a reading? Because I know you had enough of a heads up. It's not like Mr. Moyer's canceled tonight, so.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got one.
Okay.
I got one. Yeah. Shit. Let's see. Yeah. All right. So, this is from Keep It Simple from today, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, I read it this morning and whatever. And, I read it again tonight because I was kind of flipping around looking for some shit to read. And, we've talked about on here plenty of times. I'm an atheist, right? And I'm not the only one. And I know people struggle with the higher power thing. I know I did. And I know it's an issue for a lot of people, especially in early recovery. So I thought this would be a good reading to have a little discussion about that. So,
Awesome.
yeah, here we go. November 15th. The best way to know God is to love many things. Vincent van Gogh. He was Dutch, so I'm pronouncing it that way. Let's see. Now that we're in recovery, we're learning to love people. We're learning to love nature. We're learning to love new ideas about life. The result? We love the way we feel now that we're taking care of ourselves. Is our higher power really so close? Can we really find our higher power just by loving many things? Yes. When we love, we wake up the part of us that is part of all of creation, our spirit. We really come to life when we love. Prayer for the day. Higher power, remind me that you are near when I love someone or something. The energy of love comes from you. Action for the day. I will list 3 things I love that help me know my higher power is near me.
So, 3 things. There was a lot of love in there.
There was.
But you know what? I've heard all you need is love. I think I heard that somewhere before.
Right.
which is
I hear it in my head every time I go to a fucking meeting.
I was going to say, part of your story, so I'm guessing that we'll get further into that because I always love that story to this day and how it's still part of you. But so list 3 things that, what was that?
List 3 things that you love that help you know your higher power is near you.
Okay, so I'm going to throw that over to you, Mike, to start out with. So what do you think? I mean, or whether it's 1, 2, 3, or I mean, just
right,
whatever.
Right, exactly. Well, there's people. There are some people have to qualify that, that I love. And that's absolutely part of knowing that there's a power greater than myself, the phrasing I like best. I'm sitting here tonight before we're doing this thing for the last couple of hours, listening to some good, nasty rock and roll. My buddies, Adam and Max, Music to Break Things By, are filling in on one of the other college stations. They've done this a couple times recently. They've been back doing it. So tonight was one of the nights. So I got to enjoy some music to break things by, which doesn't happen very often anymore. So yes, I love that. Love music. Shit. There's probably 100 things I could sit here and list. I won't. But yes, there are things that I love today, truly love, that bring me closer to powers greater than myself.
Right. Yeah, and that's I mean that's kind of a I don't know, and again maybe from the atheist or even from me, like from the the agnostic standpoint, to think that, okay, is there, I mean, I know there's a power greater than me, we've established all that, but then I guess I've never looked at it that way. I read this this morning, and
Right.
Obviously Keep It Simple is one that I not only read, but sometimes out of the 4 things that I read, a lot of times that one I post a lot about, or from that one, on Instagram, because it's a little bit more generic
Right.
than some of the other ones. Usually not as godless or godless. It's more godless.
Right.
There's less God, not more God.
Right.
Yeah, Jesus. Side note here on that. Couple of days ago, whatever it was, maybe it was a week or so ago. Once again, 24-hour book. I think I counted 9. I'm like, and every other word seemed like fucking God, 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 which is fine. But I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, there's a lot of fucking God in here. But I mean, you mentioned a couple of things, people, and I take a look at the relationships in my life, and the opportunities that I have as a human being, the ability that I have to maybe look into these dark waters that are going out there in the universe right now, or world, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, and not only keep my sanity, but stay sober in the process.
Right.
And I know for a fucking fact, I mean, keeping my cool when somebody pisses me the fuck off,
Mm-hmm.
especially in a work situation, because
Right.
I can't fucking go off on somebody.
Right.
In a personal situation, I don't want to be that guy anymore, but
Mm-hmm.
I can.
Sure.
I
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's not, as long as I'm not beating somebody up and breaking the law, quote unquote,
Mm.
I can mouth off to people, but I don't want to be that person. So
Right.
none of those things, none of the things that you mentioned, which I agree with, none of the things that I just mentioned, would have been possible, at least not on a regular basis, for me 15 years ago, before I stumbled into this thing that we call sobriety.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's a higher power thing, man, because it's fucking sure not me. We've said that plenty of times, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, and I mean another reason you posted the Abraham Lincoln quote today. I saw
Yep.
that. Yeah, right. Which is both of us, we love that one. If you don't know, Abraham Lincoln said, "When I do good, I feel good. When I do bad, I feel bad. That is my religion." That is a quote from old Honest Abe. And I actually used it. A buddy of mine in my home group a couple years ago. He's actually got a couple more years than us sober, and he was really having trouble. A couple of years ago, right? So he was probably 13 years sober, something like that.
Right.
And he was struggling, and he reached out to me because people, I'm not quiet about my atheism, and for a reason. Not because I'm making not anymore that I'm making fun of religious people or godly people or any of that. I don't. I actually, and I've said this before. I'm a little envious of them because I think they have it a little easier in this process, having that conception of a power greater than themselves already baked into their cake. I had to work a little harder to find something and make this thing work for me the way it's supposed to work. So anyway, but yes, so he reached out to me, and I sent him that quote. It was like, the simplest thing. We talked and stuff after that, but he reached out to me. I think it was a text, and or whatever, messenger or some nonsense, something through my phone in writing. Right. It wasn't an actual in-person conversation or an actual phone call. I found that and sent it to him, and it just like fucking it eased his mind right away. It was very useful and powerful. And it's useful and powerful. Thanks, Abe.
Right.
So I, again, that read that today, and read this morning, and went, this would be a good topic for us to discuss.
You know what? And I agree. And you said one thing I kind of want to go back to, that, because I thought that was interesting that you said that people, people that came into, let's say, whether it be, AA, or
Mm-hmm.
just recovery in general,
Right.
looking for that higher power,
Mm-hmm.
already having a conception. So, and we saw, well, and we still do, obviously see people that have gone two different directions with that, people that
Mm-hmm.
have felt wronged, by
Oh yeah.
God,
Right. There's a
and
lot of
then,
that.
yeah, and then struggled with it coming in because, well, God, you fucked me over. Why should I believe in you now,
Mm-hmm.
type of thing. And then, you got other people that had this solid relationship, and then they found a separation, though. So here's the church God over here,
Mm-hmm.
and then here's my AA and my sobriety God.
Right.
And then, like, you came in with not having that, having no concept, or knowing that in your heart
Mm.
that's not it.
Right.
I didn't know what the fuck to think. But the thing of it is, kind of on your end, I feel like I kind of had also, like you said, maybe for me, kind of the best of both worlds, because I didn't have any hate for a
Mm-hmm.
God or a higher power, but I
Right.
also didn't have any true belief of whether there was or was not.
Mm-hmm.
I came in literally. I was probably more of a cipher boy than you were.
Right.
Even though you identify as an atheist,
Mm-hmm.
I was probably just I was existing. I had no fucking conception. I'd been in a building before with, people preaching and doing all that
Oh
shit
sure.
before, plenty of them,
Yeah, me too.
but I just it just wasn't a thing. I never found my place in it. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, the main thing that we were told. And whether it was Dan or Tony or somebody just saying that, just know it's not you.
Right.
And then, yeah, that Abraham Lincoln thing. I don't know. I think I found that picture that I post every year.
Mm-hmm.
God, probably 12 years ago, 13 years
Right.
ago. Who knows? I mean, a long
Mm-hmm.
time ago. But I don't know the first time I heard it.
Right.
I don't remember.
Yeah, me neither. Right. It kind of seems like it's just kind of been around forever. It's a sobriety thing anyway. Right.
Right. Yeah, and I'm gonna say, I don't want to say I'm confident that I hadn't heard that prior to getting sober, but if I did, I know for a fucking fact I didn't listen to it, and
Right.
I didn't look at it and be like, ooh,
Yeah.
light
Sure
bulb.
as hell. Right. Didn't mean anything. That right.
Right. But so a couple of things I wrote down. Obviously, being able to love many things. That was right in the beginning. I think that
Mm-hmm.
was in the quote. Love new ideas about life. Part of all creation, and then the energy of love.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the only thing I'm going to say, and I know I brought this up before, and this has only been, well, it's been since I've been sober, but now probably maybe it's been 7 or 8 years ago when
Mm-hmm.
I learned and realized, and we were talking about this plenty of times in episodes, but me realizing that I can love people and things on different levels,
Mm-hmm.
that, you want to talk about revelation, that was fucking huge for me,
Right.
because I always affiliated love with romantic love.
Mm-hmm.
And just a quick story back, and I don't even know if I ever told you this. When we were growing up, I mean, mom, I guess I know she loved us. She always took care of us. I
Mm-hmm.
never knew how, and I think Kathy will admit to the same thing or would say the same thing. We never realized until way after the fact when she told us how hard things were for her, financially and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know that, which is,
Right.
to her credit.
Right.
We never really, granted, we wanted for things, but we never
Mm.
needed anything.
Right.
We were always had our basic needs met, and then some. But there was not, no one in our family said I love you,
Mm-hmm.
fucking ever.
Right.
And the first time I remember, and I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. The first time I remember telling somebody I love them was, my daughter's mom, and I
Mm-hmm.
was 17 years old.
Right.
you know because that was never, it just wasn't a thing. And even those are things that we actually grew into, and I think actually grew mom into, Kathy and I, over the
Mm-hmm.
years,
Mm-hmm.
of saying that. And I mean, I've always said it to my kids and all that
Right.
stuff, and my wives, because I got two of them.
Yep.
And to this day, I mean, well, shit, you and I say it at the end of every episode,
Right.
and I mean it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you know, and it's not just fucking lip service thinking, hey, this would be a fucking cool way to end an episode.
Hey,
Couple
make
of
us
guys,
look good. Hey, yeah,
yeah,
right.
yeah, couple of
Right.
guys saying I love you. But I don't know. It's just that in itself, realizing that I think what I'm just trying to say, and I don't really know, but it's just that, I've learned how to love exactly what this thing is saying. I think I've
Mm-hmm.
learned that. I know I've learned that since I've been sober. I know for a fucking
Right.
fact.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I like the wording of, the God's power or whatever, higher power or whatever it comes through. That's what love is. It comes from that and it creates that. I mean, that's a big part of, I've talked about it. It's in my story and all that stuff. The first glimpse I had at power greater than myself was, the love for my granddaughter. She was 2 years old. And she would just look at me, and God knows I didn't fucking deserve it at that point. I was whatever, maybe 60, 90 days sober, some bullshit like that. My head's still firmly up my ass. But this beautiful little creature would just look at me, and she loved me. And it was like, fuck, I didn't earn it. I didn't deserve it. I didn't, whatever. And yet it was still there. That was a power greater than myself. And I went, well, fuck, I can latch on to that.
Right.
And, like early on, we were taught, gratitude's an action. Well, love is a fucking action. I mean, you said you grew up where people didn't say it. I grew up with it. It was said a lot. But it wasn't shown a whole lot. Yeah, great. Fuck, you love me. Is this what it is? Fuck you. That's the way I grew up, with, a lot of lip service and not a lot of action behind it. And, yeah, so, it means, and then, and then I started really spiraling down that rabbit hole early on and started, going into the rock and roll, all these fucking, as I went into rock and roll, one of my favorite things that I feel love, right? Um, all the lyrics, man, you can just song titles, you could rattle off, I could rattle off a ton of them right now. And I won't because I don't want to. But anyway, what are, and a lot of them are crap too. Huey Lewis, man, The Power of Love, fucking U2 In the Name of Love. But I started, yes, All You Need Is Love, the Beatles, which is a good one, which is important. And I've told it on here before, but I'll say it again. When I'm at the end of a meeting and everybody's doing the Lord's Prayer, I recite the lyrics to All You Need Is Love in my head. I have probably started doing that within the first couple of months of being sober, and I've always done it. And it's, that's just, it works for me. And, you can go Google the lyrics. I'm not going to recite them here because we might get into some copyright shit. I ain't fucking with the Beatles catalog.
That motherfucker's got some power.
That's
you
right.
Want to talk about a power greater than us?
Yeah, fucking A, McCartney, man. Guy's got all the money in the world and all the power. Anyway, so yes, all those rock and roll songs, all those songs, I started going back and really listening to the lyrics and going and applying them to, and again, not an original concept by any means. Love is God, God is love, blah, 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 fucking all the religions, God is love. Okay, well, if God is love, then love is God, and love is a power greater than myself, and love is an action. So I could be a part of this power greater than myself by acting as if I love other people, and I actually started to, and I do today.
Right.
Some, again, got to qualify that because there's a whole lot of them that I don't.
Yeah, and it's I don't know if we were talking about it on here, but I was talking about it with somebody recently that and it's again a very very common thing when people get sober is usually your circle gets smaller. I mean, a lot of people, we know hundreds of sober people we've ran across and been involved in and can say hi to hundreds of sober individuals.
Absolutely.
It doesn't necessarily mean they're part of our circle, but our true circle of friends, at least mine, and I think yours too, stays small and has remained small, and in a lot of cases got a lot smaller once we got sober. And the thing of it is that we have the ability, and it's nothing against the people that we don't hang out. Maybe some of them it is, but it just is what it is. This is this life over here. This is that life over there.
Right.
I don't feel fucking triggered if I'm going to hang around those people. You've said it before, and I think it's great. You'd be fucking bored. You don't have the patience for it,
Yeah, exactly.
too fucking old for this shit. Too fucking sober for this shit.
Yep.
I didn't have the time for this shit. I would rather sit home and watch mindless fucking TV than try to sit in a bar with a bunch of people that I don't really care that much about.
Right.
Just because of something. I mean, I know you go to clubs and stuff like that, but you've said it on here. When it's the right time. You're like, I've had enough of this. I can go.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's not like I'm going and hanging out with the people or anything.
Right.
I'm really not. I'll say hi to a couple people I know, which I do, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes, shit, man. I'll say, like, if it's a kind of a bigger place, I mean, I'll see some people I know. I'm not going to go out of my way to get over there to them to say hi and, whatever. I'm there to see the band. I'm there to listen to the music. That's what I'm there for. I mean, I go by myself sometimes. I like it that way because I don't have to deal with anything else. I'm there for a very specific reason, to listen to music, to watch people play music live. That's what I'm there for, not to fucking anything else. I'm certainly not to socialize. I don't fucking, if like you said, I'll stay home. I don't like to socialize. I still don't.
Right.
It's fine. If I'm in a setting, a sober setting, yes, I socialize because we have a common reason to be there. And it's a reason that I enjoy being a part of. But the rest of it, literally the rest of it in the fucking world, I don't care. I really fucking don't. Politics, social causes, blah, blah, blah. I don't fucking care.
Right. Yeah, it just I don't know. Yeah, it is. It's sometimes it's just it's so much easier to be like, yeah, I don't want to deal with any of that fucking
Right.
garbage. The potential, and I don't want to say negative, but the potential irritants, or I don't even want. It's not even uncomfortable, but
Mm-mm.
the potential lack
Irritants.
of enjoyment,
Yeah.
from me, is
No, it's
enough to.
irritating, man.
Yeah,
It's
it is
fucking
irritating. Yeah, you're right.
irritating. And why would I want to be irritated?
Yeah.
I don't want to irritate anyone else. I
Right.
don't want to be irritated by anyone else. So,
Yeah. You keep your irritation over here. I'll
uh-huh.
keep mine over there. I'm
That's right.
fine. Perfectly fine. I thought about something when you were talking about the whole love thing and all that stuff. So, and I don't remember if I ever talked about it on here, but I know you may remember this. So, for the longest time, well, when I first got sober, it would have been a perfect opportunity for my son's mom, Dawn, to basically be like, okay, everything I said, all the groundwork, because she did. She laid out the groundwork of truth. I'm not faulting her for it. I did then, but I'm not faulting her for it
Right.
now because she was right. But
Mm-hmm.
she laid out all the groundwork of this. This dude's a fucking raging alcoholic. He's no good for us. He's no good for himself. Certainly no good for our son.
Right.
And I don't fault her for doing all that
Mm-hmm.
now. But when I went into detox, that was my number one concern. I'm like, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
She had with no, literally zero effort on her part. She could have buried me,
Right.
could have buried me and I never would have seen my son again. She could have done that. But here's what she did. She did not do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, kudos to her. She was a far bigger person than I ever have been, or at least was up to that point.
Right.
And then not only did not do that, she went out of her way to make sure that, coordinated with Kathy, because Kathy used to
Mm-hmm.
bring Derek out and this and that,
Mm-hmm.
and all these different things. She literally went out of her way to make sure that I was able to see him and be part of his life.
Right.
And I used to always say, I'm like, for whatever reason, I don't even know why she did it, but she didn't bury me. And I said that in front of our sponsor, Joe, one time. And I
Uh-huh.
was still in Ohio. Maybe, let's just say, well, at the time, I don't remember he had to have been our sponsor at that time, a couple years
Mm-hmm.
sober, let's say.
Right.
And, he goes, I know why. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
well, fucking enlighten me then,
Right.
And he said, because she loves your son.
Yeah.
And I'm like, huh. And
Mm-hmm.
he said she wouldn't do that to him to try to
Right.
hurt you. And in
Right.
turn, you get the fucking benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, he's like, she actually cares about him far more than you ever did at that time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, fuck. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
accept it. I mean, what am I gonna say? You're wrong. Because
Right.
number one, he wasn't. But just the I go back and I say all the time what a wonderful human being she is, and the fact that we get along, and it took time and all that
Mm-hmm.
sort of stuff. But
Sure.
these are the elements of what and who she is as a human being, with all the shit that I put her through. And again, I know what I would have done in that circumstance.
Oh, yeah.
If I were her, I would have fucking buried me. I would have
Right.
been fucking done.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean
And
that's
that's a great example of the power of love.
right. Right.
And yes, you got to benefit from it, whatever. And I mean, there was a small part in there because clearly she had feelings for you at one point,
Right.
and I mean, yeah, right. That's why she is a better person than both of us.
Combined.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Even to this day, combined.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. That power of,
Right.
of affection and love and wanting the good, and fucking A, man, that is a great religion. Do
Yeah.
good and you feel good. You do bad, you feel bad, and God damn it, man, that's doing the next right thing. Despite our feelings and our emotions and our right, you do what's fucking right because it's the right thing to do in the grand scheme of things. Yes, your son and you. Right. I mean, if she would have buried you, if she would have taken your son away from you, at this point, he's a grown man now, and things would, you're still sober, but it would have made it way fucking harder for you, and it would have made it harder for him. And yeah, it was the right thing to do. And so she fucking did it. Yeah. And we don't understand that shit because that's not the way
Right.
our brains work.
I know. Yeah. And I've said it before, man. She's been such a key, a key to my a key to my whole process, and
Mm-hmm.
she's the same person that said to me, keep doing what you're doing, or
Right.
you are fucking done. After I got
Yep.
a little bit of time under my belt,
Right.
she never, and that was long before she said that to me at 3-4 months sober.
Right.
She's like, I'm not doing this to him again. You're not
Mm-hmm.
going away. It's been 3 months. You're not doing this to him. And I'm sure as fuck not going to let you, let him watch you fucking die.
Uh-huh.
She's like, yeah, you drink again, you're fucking done. I won't
Yep.
put him through that again.
Yep.
I'm like, you know what? Again, we talk about, everyone talks about, yeah, you got to do it for you. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I had some motivation at 3 to 4 months, but
Right.
I had to find my way and do it for me, then in turn be there for my son. And we all
Mm-hmm.
do it, and
Right.
your granddaughter, you
Yep.
had to keep doing what you were doing for her and your daughter at the
Mm-hmm.
time, and all those sort of things to get all good graces back. And but sooner or later, I mean, we have to have more than that. We got to do it for ourselves,
Right.
or it's not going to stick. You just get
Absolutely.
sober for somebody else. And I'm not saying it won't work, but man, I don't want to be in that position. I would not want to be in that position to still be trying to stay sober for somebody else.
No, absolutely not. Right. I mean, right. We, again, it's that whole balance thing, right? Yes, we hear all the time, we have to do this for ourselves, and we do. And I do it for myself because I am still selfish and self-centered, and I like the results of living this way. I feel good. I am good, blah, 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 blah. Yes, it is for me. I do this for me, but I absolutely do it for others,
Right.
Chris and Lydia and you and and Kathy and yes, everyone that's around me that I do have that love for.
Mhm.
That's a big part of why I do it, but it's the biggest part is, yes, it is for me. All these other people can go away and I will still continue to do what I have to do to stay sober because I fucking feel good and I like feeling good, yeah, again, it's why I was just all twisted up in my head and thought that the other shit was making me feel good. No, the shit's making me feel good.
Imagine that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know, and granted, I mean, we've admitted it's like, whatever it is, the first, what do we say, 20 minutes, of whatever, whether drinking or drugging or doing whatever, you might get 20 minutes of pleasure out of it, and
Nope.
then it's fucking gone,
Yeah.
and then you'll never get back that first feeling. Just the same thing, you never
Mm-mm.
get past that first buzz when first time you started smoking, or first time you started drinking, or first time
Right.
anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you never get that fucking feeling back
Right.
ever.
Right. That first cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And you know what? Now I know, after inadvertently going without caffeine for a few days, that I do need it, but I don't feel it when I drink. It's not like I drink a cup of coffee right away in the morning and I'm like, I'm fucking
Right.
ready to go. I don't
Mm-hmm.
get that, super buzz out of it. If I drink too much and don't eat, yes, I mean,
Yeah.
I get the fucking shakes, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's just, I mean, I'm human, so
Uh-huh.
you got to kind of, again, balance. I got to balance out some food in there somewhere. I used to do that when I traveled out to Ohio, especially those first couple of years after I moved back to Wisconsin. The same thing. I mean, I would drive out and I wouldn't eat on the way because I wanted to get out so we can get to, dropping off shit, doing whatever, getting to a
Right.
meeting, and then you and I would go get pizza, or I'd be over by Johnny's to get pizza, and I'm not eating till fucking 9 o'clock at night. And
Uh-huh.
that's going, I might have had some snack food in the morning, or maybe half a sandwich or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, towards the end of I'm still drinking coffee at, fucking 8 o'clock at night, and I'm fucking jittered. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I feel like I don't feel good. Fucking
Uh-huh.
head hurts. And hey, do you think you should eat something? I don't know.
Yeah, we're still broken.
Right. So did you listen to Mark Maron's got Josh Brolin on?
Yesterday, right. I saw a post, but I didn't I haven't listened yet.
I only listened to, it's like last night when I was making dinner, and then when I went up to get my pizza and stuff today, I listened, I think, the first 10 or 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about whatever nicotine thing that Mark does and Josh
Right.
does the same thing. So they were talking about that from an addiction standpoint. Obviously
Mm-hmm.
that clearly is an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's fucking funny. I was laughing my ass off through the whole thing. It was so funny. The first, if nothing else, the first 15 minutes or so. I mean, Josh Brolin's interesting enough, but
Mm-hmm.
the first 15, maybe 20 minutes, just it is talking about this fucking addiction shit with their whatever nicotine garbage they got fucking going on. Chew
Right.
dip. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Right.
Yeah, it was funny. It was funny. So, all right. So back to the reading. Anything else on there? I mean, I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone?
Yeah. Right. No, I mean, I think we covered it fairly well, just, yeah, I said it all.
You're funny.
I don't want to repeat myself, but I almost did.
That's okay. You know what? Sometimes repetition is fine, but I get it. I mean, if you're stopping yourself, are you tired of hearing yourself speak or something? Or
Maybe.
All right. So, actually, this is good because I know you hate this part of the year anyhow when I ask you to do this, but you can actually whip through this because then we'll take a break. But we're heading into the holiday season, and you
Mhm.
always have a good message for people on how to handle themselves with holiday parties and all those sort of things. Especially, well, it doesn't matter whether they're early in recovery or whatever the deal is. So,
Mhm.
I don't know, just kind of crossed my mind tonight when I was setting stuff up. So, give everyone your pep talk.
All right. Holidays. They're just fucking days. Right. Well, again, atheist, right? So, what is holiday, holy day? I don't fucking think so. It's another day of the year. Don't allow societal, religious, whatever pressures because it's a day on the calendar and somebody 1,000 years ago said, this is the day that we're going to celebrate this. Or hundreds of years ago, as in Thanksgiving, or 150 or whatever the fuck. This is the day we're going to be grateful. It's just a fucking day, man. Don't let the pressure get to you. If you're enjoying it and you like it, and it's cool, man. Celebrate, have fun with it. That's what it's supposed to be. But if it's pressure and it's stressing you out, fuck it, man. It's not that important. It's just all made up anyway. So, right. And again, there are expectations, family, blah, 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 whatever. You know what? If you're just not feeling it and it's threatening your sobriety, skip it. There's next year. And if it's threatening your sobriety and you're fucked up and you get loaded over some made up shit, then you probably won't have next year. So don't do it. Again, it's another day on the calendar. It's okay, man. If you want to sit it out, it's okay. Move along. And if you want to celebrate and it's making you happy and it's bringing you joy and it's helping you bring other people joy, then do it. If it's not, then don't, because it's all made up anyway.
Yes, but the best part about that, and the thing that I think is great, is the fact that it's just another day, and it really is.
Mm-hmm.
The Christmas, the Thanksgiving, the 4th of July, the Memorial Days, the Labor Days.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they are. They're just days that
Yep.
somebody decided that, hey, this is what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, maybe based on an event, the blah blah blah, but we don't have to drink on it either. You can
Nope.
celebrate, you can be part of,
Mm-hmm.
you can do your thing, find sober people to be around,
Yep.
or don't, like Mike said. I mean, if you're that fucked up about the whole thing, and you go, you may
Mm-hmm.
not have next year. So, and
Right.
that's a fucking fact. We
Yeah.
know it's not, I shouldn't even laugh because it's not funny. We know way too many fucking people that
Mm.
like, I can take the chance and like, I could have one, I could have one hit, one this, one that, and then they're fucking dead. And
Yep.
that's what happens to us people.
Absolutely. And if it's, if you can, take somebody sober with you, have a partner. We is the most important thing in this program. We can't do this shit alone, any of it, life. And you have an escape plan, have a way to get yourself out of there. Hopefully without, causing too much pain to anyone else, family members, whatever. Sorry, grandma, I gotta go. Yeah, but if grandma's a little uncomfortable because you have to leave, well, that's grandma's problem, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, and drive yourself. I mean, if you don't
Yep.
have the ability to drive yourself these days, I mean, unless you're out in the middle
Yeah.
of fucking nowhere, and I ran
Right.
across that, but call an Uber.
Yep.
It costs you a couple of bucks, but I mean, if you don't have a car or you don't have the ability to drive there, snag an Uber.
Yep.
An Uber. Jesus Christ, an Uber.
Right.
Throw some. Yeah, Uber or Lyft. Yeah, throw $50 aside, and
Yep.
make sure you got a. And that's the thing. We again, to this day, we talk about it all the time. Every time I'm doing this, to this day, unless it's my friend Mike there in the car that I'm going with, if I go to an event, I drive myself all the time, all the fucking time. And we have a couple of years under our belt, but I don't know.
Right.
Again, back to the irritants and this and that. The matter of just being like, fuck, man, I'm tired. In my head, I'm like, I can't handle this shit no more. Gotta go.
Yep.
Gotta fucking go. So.
Yep. Self-care, man.
Yeah,
true self-care.
Look at you. Let's get back to talking about self-care after this. What do you think, Mike?
All right. Well, we'll be back to talk about touching ourselves right after these words from our sponsor.
Hey everyone, it's your friends at Sober Not Mature.
Hi there.
Yes, it's both of your friends this time. Hi Mike, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Bill?
I am doing well, but we do have a purpose. We actually usually talk about our one website, but we actually have two websites now. So two websites in one. All right, so everyone knows we still have the podcast website that is www.SoberNotMature.com. And we just launched the store website, so we also have that. Do you know what the website address is on that one, Mike?
Of course I don't.
It's pretty easy, Mike. It's www.SoberNotMatureShop.com. But from the podcast website, you can still hit the store link and get into the web store, or you can access it from our Instagram page through the highlights. We've been posting quite a bit about it, and we'll continue to do that. But do you know what's on the second website, Mike?
Well, there's a store. There are products that you can purchase for you and your loved ones.
Well, Mike, do we still have merchandise?
We have merchandise. Well, we got T-shirts and coffee mugs and all kinds of crap.
And one of the coolest parts, we also do have all the recovery books from Hazelden, which is kind of a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Yeah, at least for us. So all the books that we read, God Grant Me, 24 Hours, the Big Book, the 12 and 12, all of those books are available for sale on our website. And again, that store website is www.sober.
Trying to help, man.
I know you are. You're not helping, though. Okay, now I got to say www.SoberNotMatureShop.com. .com. Visit that today, or visit the podcast website, which is, again, the podcast website. So
www.SoberNotMature.com.
Did you just say sober but not mature?
Yeah, sure. Write that down.
Yeah, like fucking mush mouth or something. All right, everyone. You've suffered enough with this, and we'll get back to what we were talking about previously. So visit the websites, though. All right, everyone. I was just making fun of the fact that, self-care sounds too... Well, I was just going to say touchy-feely, so never mind. Never mind.
Yep.
You know what? It was maybe deep down, Freudian. Freudian slip in my head.
Absolutely.
I was thinking about touching myself anyhow. The whole stuff. Self-care. Me time. So this weekend, maybe I was I'm sure it probably would have came up anyhow, but so I'm heading up to Wisconsin tomorrow. And the original reason for it, we were trying to figure out a time to get together with the kids. My son's birthday is October 12th. He was off with Dawn and Corey and them. They went someplace for his birthday week and whatever. They were gone for like a week. And then Kimmy is November 10th, and then she was doing her thing. Blah blah blah. They were in Chicago last weekend, is where they were.
Yeah.
Took the boy down there, and they hung out in Chicago. So we're trying to figure out, to get together with them. And then Kimmy's like, oh, Dawn wanted to get together at some point. So all said and done, we're meeting at Dawn's. Dawn, once again, is my ex-wife that I was talking about a minute ago. So her and her husband, obviously my son and his girlfriend, Katie, my daughter, and obviously my son-in-law, Brian, my grandson, me. I don't know if Alec will be there. Maybe I would think possibly, but it's going to be like a Thanksgiving thing.
Cool.
So yeah, Dawn's getting a turkey. She's doing all this different stuff, but yeah, it all she's hosting it. So we're going to get together there. And my point was that I was trying to figure out a place, so I didn't have to do the 6-hour driving, whatever, back and forth. Obviously on a Sunday doing that. So I got a place up there in Two Rivers. But what I was thinking about was when Dawn said the timing finally, I'm like, okay, so what can we bring? Just let us know. Or do you want some help? Whatever.
Right.
So she's like, I'll get the turkey. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. She's like, she goes, we don't have much soda here, and she goes, we need dinner rolls. And I said, I'll get both of those. I'm like, what does everyone else want? Because there's a group text. And then nobody responded. I'm like, am I the only one drinking soda? Because if so, then, and then Dawn's like, yes. but so back to what we were just talking about. Not that everyone's going to, rip it up and be rowdy or whatever it is, but, and, Kimmy and Brian have to drive home. If they have a couple of drinks, they may, who knows, maybe they won't. But
glass of wine with dinner, fucking weirdos. Right.
But I mean, I've been in situations like that where, and Dawn always tells me she'll always say that, either I have soda or I don't, or this is what I'll have and this is whatever. But she always makes sure that, like, the one time I went over there, she cooked everything in fucking alcohol. It was a summertime thing. And I'm like, is there beer in the brats? She's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, no. Is there any alcohol in it? She's like, oh, that was cooked with wine. And I'm like, okay, that's okay. I'm like, I'm munching out a piece of salad and a tomato or something. It wasn't that. That's a joke. But I guess back to that point though, I'm not uncomfortable being in that circumstance. And there would be nothing along the lines of, if I get to the point where I just want to go, I can go and I'm not going to piss anyone off, and I'm never going to be like, I don't know. I've never made a deal out of it or an issue out of it where, it's about the time when everyone's going to start drinking. First of all, it's a Sunday. Nobody's going to be ripping it up anyhow.
Yeah.
But I'm around people who know my deal, care about me, and, specifically say, hey, dude, you need to bring something to drink.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm fine with it. It's just, I don't know. It was everything we were talking about, but being in a social situation where I'm extremely happy to be around all those people. And yes, I'll BYOB, bring my own beverage.
We're not comfortable supplying you with non-alcoholic beverages.
No, and I'm sure she's probably like, what, I'm buying all this other shit. If you want soda, bring some fucking soda. She didn't say it, but she would have no problem saying that to me, and I wouldn't take offense to it either.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be nice. And then I've been through Two Rivers. It's just north of Manitowoc, where the whole Making of a Murderer Netflix show was. That's Stephen Avery. That's who the dude was.
All right.
You probably never watched that, but a lot of people did. How to Make a Murderer, Murdering, Making a Murderer, whatever it is. That's Manitowoc. But yeah, it's a couple of blocks off of Lake Michigan. I mean, it's a cold time of year, but who knows? I may try to make my way down there and take a peek at at a lake that's kind of great. And one way or the other, it'll be nice to again not have to drive 6 hours round trip. So
yeah, absolutely. Cool.
But so back to this stuff. Ooh, want to hear about drinking? Not me. A guy I ran across.
Okay.
So you and I were talking after we got off the podcast last weekend. I needed tires and I wanted to get them done this week. And I said that I was looking at Walmart, this and that, had a little issue, and then I ended up Firestone had a set of tires that I thought would be decent. So I stopped over there on Saturday. It's only over in Portage where Mom used to live. And I walk in there and I'm telling the guy what I want. And he's talking to me and I'm like, kind of get this smell, this whiff. And I'm like, kind of weird. You don't click right away.
Right.
So I was getting everything set up and set the appointment for the next day. So he's like, oh, I got to order the tires for the store. He got them. But, it was going to be a couple hours. What am I going to do? Drive back, that sort of thing. I'm like, if you got an appointment tomorrow, I just did it on Sunday. But one of two things, either, and the guy, he didn't seem like he was drunk, but so
Right.
he did one of two things. Either he was drinking, obviously there,
Uh-huh.
or fucking ripped it up on a Friday night. And
Right.
this was the residual. And
Yeah.
the reason I bring it up, and I mean, he was wonderful. Everything got set
Mm-hmm.
up right. They did a great job on my car.
Cool.
No issues with the service. I wasn't offended by
All
any
right.
of it. Plus I got a great deal. I got 4 brand new tires, all the shit done, mounted, the whole bit, plus an oil change for less than $600. So I got
Nice.
everything fucking done.
Yeah.
But you know what? It just made me think about two things. I mean, how many times was I in front
Mm.
of somebody like that where they're like,
Mm-hmm.
"Do I
Mm-hmm.
smell something?" And then realizing that if that guy is seeping booze out of his body like
Right.
that, how does he feel right now? And that was immediately a thought. I'm like, oh fuck, man.
Yeah.
I right away I remembered how that felt, and it
Mm-hmm.
did not make me. I didn't feel good.
Right. Didn't make you want to go out and get a drink?
No, not even
No.
not even one fucking little bit. Not even one little
Right.
bit.
Yeah, right. Fucking misery, man.
I
Oh
know.
yeah, I remember. Yeah, plenty of times. And I mean, I remember, being at jobs or whatever, and people, saying stuff, and yeah, I mean, for me, we've talked about it on here. I wasn't a maintenance drinker. I couldn't be a maintenance drinker. So yeah, if I stunk booze the next day, it was from the night before,
Right.
and yeah, people look at me and whatever. Yeah, and I felt like shit. Absolutely. Yeah, again back to I feel pretty good today.
Right.
Selfish. I want to keep feeling this good. I don't want to go feel really really good for 20 minutes and then feel like shit for 23 and a half hours.
Yeah, and I remember that going. I mean, years ago. Probably before, I would say, yeah, before I had a real problem, and I wasn't day drinking and
Mm-hmm.
getting up in the morning and drinking and doing all that stuff, and I wasn't taking the edge off in the morning and all that, but being out at work events or being at these conferences, and I remember you getting up in the morning, and you're still kind of like a little
Mm-hmm.
little fucking buzzed up and
Yep.
if nothing else fucking cloudy,
Yep.
um and then having to put on the fucking dress pants and a shirt and a tie and a sport coat or whatever, then go down sit in these fucking conferences, and I'm just feeling hot, number
Yep.
one, and just feeling like not sick, but just like your whole body is buzzing,
Mm-hmm.
and just this uneasy feeling again, not like I want to throw up, but I just don't feel right,
Yeah.
but yeah, just being fucking hot, just fucking hot. And I'm like, oh god damn.
Uh-huh.
Um, and you know what? The thing of it is that uh, I mentioned it before. My body. I think these days I'm like an old fucking Buick. I get up in the morning and I'm just like,
Yep.
and it's once I get rolling, man. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
fine. Yeah, it's the same thing when I first start walking on a hiking trail, first whatever it is, quarter mile or whatever I'm walking or wherever it is, I'm like, motherfucker. I'm like, I fucking whew. And
Uh-huh.
it's just I get probably just fucking opening up all my blood vessels in my fucking heart, and it's
Yep.
like, okay, you got to open up that carburetor.
Yep.
But once I get going, I'm fine, and I kind of bitch to myself, I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, but I'm not that guy at Firestone these days.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to wake up sore. I don't want to wake up and have it take me a half hour to kind of get get in, I don't know, game shape or whatever it is. I don't
Right.
feel that way, but you know what I mean. But I don't
Yeah.
feel that way.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I get up and yeah, takes me 30 seconds to go, all right. And then it's all right. And then I do what I got to do.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Selfish. I do not want to be that way anymore.
Right. Yeah, and it's just yeah, maybe it is. Maybe things like that are, it didn't like click in my head until we were just talking about it, but maybe these are fucking reminders, these are these gentle reminders of, oh, you got a problem? You don't like,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that you're a little fucking tired in the morning, you're a little
Mm-hmm.
sore. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think my lower back pain, I think, is just part of me now. It started
Yeah.
like a month ago,
Mm.
probably loading or unloading my car, or I fucking twisted myself climbing up a fucking mountain or something like that,
Yep.
and it just hasn't gone away, and it's not
Uh-huh.
bad. but I think it's me now. That's part of me.
This is my life now.
Yeah. This funny little back pain. It's I don't know. It's like my friend now. It's there. No, hi, yeah, I hear you. I feel you. Gotcha.
Yep.
But I don't know, man. I always say that, I used to say, hey, can't complain, right?
Yeah, you
still do.
can, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it really fucking doesn't matter. So, speaking of that, and I won't do it now. I'll do it towards the end if we have time. But I have a hiking story. It's not about me though. It was a news story. So,
All right.
so there was, and I think this was this week, a rare occurrence. I had 3 things that I wrote down from the 24-hour book, and I don't know if they were all this week, but let's just go. I'll tell you what, Mike. Let's do one. Let's do one at a time. How do we do
All
that?
right.
Ready? I was gonna say I'm just gonna do one at a time and see. Jesus Christ, fucking idiot. Okay, so I have found that
I want to see you. Wait, I want to see you do them all at the same time.
Okay, I'll read it. I'll read them all. I'll read all 3 right now. I have found that
I concurrently, all 3 of them at once. Do it now. Do it.
I just did. You didn't hear it.
Okay.
See, you're just not smart enough. It's like, defending your life. It's like, now you wouldn't understand. You didn't hear it. I'm at a different level than you are.
Right.
Okay, so first one, I have found that I can never make a person any better by criticism. This one happens to be, 24-hour book is more AA based. But anyhow, let's just say this is AA, but recovery has taught me this. Am I less critical of people, meaning am I less critical of people today? What do you think, Mike?
I remember reading this one. Yeah, and it's funny. I actually remember reading it and sitting there and thinking, because that's what I do when I do my meditations. No, I'm more critical.
Right.
I am more critical today than I was. I'm more forgiving, but I'm also more critical. I don't put up with bullshit the way I used to. I see things the way they truly are, not the way that I want them to be. Which sometimes is hard and sometimes it's easier, but it's the way it is because of this process. I'm far more critical than I was. Before I would, if things weren't the way that I wanted them to be, I would twist it up in my screwed up little head and make them the way I want them to be. So I was less critical in that sense before.
Right.
No, I'm very clear, very rational today, because I'm not all fucked up, and honesty and the truth are very important to me, and so I don't try to create these illusions and delusions in my head anymore. So yes, if someone is being and it goes both ways. If someone's being really kind and really good, I'm very aware of that. If someone's being shitty and an asshole, I'm very aware of that. I am more critical today than I was before.
Right. You know what's funny? So all of these in the 24-hour book, and I think one other one, I don't know if it's Scott Grant, 24-hour book always has a question at the end like that. Or for most of the time, I believe.
Right. Yeah.
But and I try to honestly answer that question. And when I read it, it's like, am I less critical people? And 24-hour book is the first thing I read. So I've been up for maybe 20 minutes,
Right.
And I think I said yes, and then I'm like, I start thinking about it, and we may have talked about this before, because what you just said, and I was thinking the same thing. So I don't know if it was original thought or it was a flashback of a conversation. It doesn't matter. I agree with you, because we're more, discerning, I think, of everyone, especially people, and, looking at people. And what I used to think was like, fuck it, let them do whatever they want type of thing. I'm like, nah, that's fucking wrong. The way you acted, what you said, the way you're treating, whatever the case is. So yes, I 100% agree with you. I'm more critical. And the same thing, we've talked about it before, that neither one of us, either want to or choose to tolerate bullshit anymore.
Right.
Life is just too fucking short to have to deal with fucking bullshit. And I don't want to give somebody a pass that's out there fucking around with people,
Right.
Either I don't hang with them, or especially if they're trying to hurt somebody, like we've talked about, trying to help out people that, that can't help themselves, or maybe that need our help or support, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, it was one of those rare ones where that gets a no, from me in the 24-hour book, but but in the best possible way,
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, real early, I mean, because a lot of the readings talk about judging. The big
Right.
book at 2 and whatever, talks about we're not supposed to judge people anymore. And I remember very early on, Bob, our grand sponsor, which he hates that term, said, no, fuck that, man. We did judge away. That's, we're again, same concept. We're looking at people. We're seeing what they're doing. Yes, I'm going to fucking judge you. You bet your ass I am. And I hope you're judging me. And if I'm fucking up, you better tell me I'm fucking up. Yes. Right. Yeah. So, right. Being critical, judgmental. Yes, absolutely.
So, it's kind of funny because, first of all, I remember that conversation. I don't know if I remember Bob saying that, but I remember you and I having that conversation about it. So that part about it, I recall. But the next thing, from another reading from the 24-hour book, a better way than judging people is to look for all the good in them. Okay. So I think we probably half disagree, but maybe agree with that.
Right. Right. Well, again, don't make me work too fucking hard to find the good in you. I think is really the point. Yes, I'm keeping my eyes open for it, but if you're not presenting it to me, well, fuck, what the hell am I supposed to do with that? Again, this guy's a real fucking asshole. I need to look at the good in him. No, I don't. He's an asshole.
Right.
Yeah. Don't make me work too fucking hard to find the good in you. I'm going to do my best to not make you look too hard to find the good in me. Before, yeah, you had to work really goddamn hard to find the good in me. Hopefully you don't have to work quite as hard today.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's that boy, what a great point too, that, yeah, I don't want to spend much time looking for the good in anyone. Just, it reminded me of two different things when you were saying that, don't make me look too long. It made me think of dating apps, if I fuck around on dating apps and all that stuff. And, it is what it is. You and Chris should be the poster children of Tinder.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we should be getting a check from them every month.
Oh God, yeah. Just look at these two. This is what it is. Because, yeah, these two met on Tinder. One thought that this dude's going to be bad for her, and then you're just like, oh, I think she looks cute, or whatever the fuck you thought. And then, what, 8 years later, eight and a half,
Yep. It was 8 years in August. So yep.
Yeah. So, but I'll match with somebody and I'll message, and usually, this back and forth. And if I can get somebody past the fact that I'm sober and whatever, this is who I am and this is my life, and they're cool with it, I'm like, okay, it's like getting past that big wave, and now you're out in the ocean, right? You're gonna, who knows how it's gonna go, but then, I start asking questions and little things, and I want to know whatever. And if people are just not responding, or I'm getting one word answers, just fuck it, you're done. I mean, seriously, and I don't. It's not. I don't look at that as ghosting. I lose my fucking patience with them. And I'm like, rather than you say, okay, then I feel like I don't want to be needy and stuff like that. Why don't you talk to me? Tell me more things. Clearly, we're not connecting. So you know what I'm going to do? Delete.
Yeah.
Tell us why.
On.
No, I'm not going to tell you why. Because the dating app comes up. Oh, would you like to unmatch? Yes, I want to unmatch. Click, click. And it fucking is what it is. And I mean, the other person has to feel it. The conversation's not going well.
Right.
But it also made me think of in a work situation, and we're making phone calls, we're trying to collect money, and this is the concept of what we do. It's like, how many times do you take no before you realize or hear no, or fuck you, I'm not paying you anything ever. Die, filthy pig. That's what they say to us. Before we get rid of it. And we're basically, our manager tells us, take 2 hard or solid refusals, and then be fucking done with it. Give it maybe another week, shoot an email, like a final email, and then get it the fuck out of there.
Right. Yeah.
It's the same concept,
Yeah. Stop wasting your time.
Right. Yep. Bigger fish to fry, bigger fish out in the sea, whatever the fucking sayings we want to use. So
yeah, well, find someone that's receptive and wants to play with you. Right.
Right. Yeah. Play with me. Get your fucking checkbook out, you bitch.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So the last one of my 24-hour extravaganza here.
Mm-hmm.
I am less sensitive and my feelings are less easily hurt.
Oh
I no
God,
longer
yes.
I no longer take myself so seriously.
Yeah.
It went on to say that things don't bother me as much today, but sometimes they do. Or no,
Mm.
things don't bother me as much today. How do you feel about that? So again, less sensitive, feelings less hurt, no longer take myself so seriously. That's just the basis of it. Then I had my own commentary in there.
Yeah, right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Ooh, you hurt my feelings. Oh, fucking Jesus Christ. Why would I allow my feelings to be hurt? That's the bigger question to ask yourself. Why are you allowing your feelings to be hurt?
Right.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. If somebody's hurting your feelings, first of all, what the fuck are you doing hanging around with them? And secondly, why? No, I don't want my feelings hurt. So yeah, I'm not going to be around people that hurt my feelings, first of all. And I'm not going to, and then again, not taking myself so seriously. I'm not so important. If I am irritated, back to the irritants, if I am irritated by something, maybe, why? Is it that big of a deal? Why are my feelings hurt? Why am I so upset about this? And if it's something real, then okay, deal with it. But 9 times out of 10, it's not. It's just whatever. It's something I don't want to hear, whether it's, the truth. And I'm going to have to do something about it. Fuck.
Right.
Or it's a bunch of fucking nonsense and shut the fuck up. And if it's a bunch of nonsense and shut the fuck up, it's certainly not going to hurt my feelings.
Right. Yeah, and I think the only time in my commentary in there was it went on to say something about the along the lines of things don't bother me as much today, but
Mm,
and I put sometimes they do, and when
mm,
I was trying to figure out why I wrote that down, and now as you were talking,
mm,
it kind of clicked back into my head what I was thinking. So I don't. I don't get bothered by, and once again, I've talked about it plenty. I've been around the debt collection business for, you know, uh, with the exception of a handful of years here and there for over 30 years. I mean, I
mm-hmm.
was in my early 20s when I started in that industry.
Right.
I have a relatively thick skin. People don't piss me off. Sometimes people's stupidity gets under my skin, but
Mm,
that's my own problem. I mean, that's just I don't
right.
like stupid people, But but people I've been called can't even. I've been called a lot of shit. I just
Sure.
9 times out of 10 I laugh because I'm like it's fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
If
but
you only knew.
yeah, it's like again, times when I wish I could say what I wanted. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
fucking good, but it doesn't bother me. Come on, what do you got? I
Right.
said my best friend says worse to me than that. Come on, what
Right.
else? What else you got? That's that's fucking hilarious.
Right.
Um, but the thing of it is, and we talked about again the growth and back to the love and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The I have I'm more again discerning. We talked about
Mm-hmm.
my circle's smaller and all those different things, but
Sure.
when I open up to somebody now
Mm-hmm.
that I feel safe with, and feel comfortable with,
Right.
then I'm all fucking open.
Oh
I
yeah.
because I sit down on the outskirts a little bit. I'm like, is this person okay? And you touch and you pick and you ask questions, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, this person's fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
So it's everything's all open.
Right.
Those are the times that I could get my feelings hurt because I think people, but again, hopefully I'm not hanging around those type of people. Like you, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
you could easily hurt my feelings
Mm.
if you know too much about me. Where
Right.
you could, if you wanted to be evil to me, you could. Kathy could
Mm-hmm.
be, Dawn could be,
Sure.
my kids
Right.
could be,
Sure.
people that I'm close to like that. But I mean, again, I don't surround myself with people that are that way.
They're gonna
You
do
know,
that, right?
yeah. So, but in those situations, again, you talk about let's go back to dating apps and these relationships or whatever. If somebody gets fucking weird like that, and again, does it hurt my feelings or does it just shock me or maybe make me
Mm.
mad, which goes back to
Mm-hmm.
anger is fear being hurt, all those sort of
Sure.
things. But sometimes I'm like, how the fuck did I let myself get into that?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
How did I not see that?
Right.
Then I want to close up again and be like, okay, next time I need to do a couple of more things.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I can be hurt on a personal level, but only if I'm with somebody who I truly, again, love and care about and that I've opened
Right.
myself up to. But once again, those are the people If those things happen, I think those are outside of our control, if we want to use the word control, because we've done the work and we've done the homework. Those people, those individuals we shouldn't have those issues. If we do, that's on the other person still, not us, right?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And I've when you say get your feelings hurt, get my feelings hurt, right? It's like you're not going to nobody's going to hurt my feelings anymore. They're just not. It's not going to happen. When I feel that pain, when it's fucking empathy, which we've talked about on here, at one point it came up, what can I do to improve myself, be more empathetic?
Right.
Absolutely. When I have pain, when I have bad feelings, it's generally because someone I care about is hurt. That's when, you're not going to hurt my feelings. My feelings are fucking Teflon, when my feelings don't fucking matter. I've trained myself over these, I don't have the pity parties. I just don't. It's one of the beautiful byproducts of this program. My feelings don't fucking matter. My feelings are whatever. You can't hurt them because they're not that important. It's when someone that I care about is hurting, that's when I feel pain today.
Right.
Yeah, it's not me. Fucking, what are you going to do to me, man? I already did it all to myself. Seriously, I've done it all to myself. Nobody can fucking hurt me. I could put myself in a situation where I could be hurt, but I'm not going to.
Right.
I know better today. No, it's when I'm truly sad, when I hurt, when I feel pain today, it's because someone I care about is hurting and is having a problem and is in pain, and and generally 9 times out of 10, there's nothing I can fucking do about it because I didn't cause it. And all I can do is be there and go, it's gonna be all right. As long as you hang out with me, it's gonna be all right. And then back that up. So yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, but that's a good way to put it. And in thinking about that too, because the same deal. I mean, like when I said somebody can hurt my feelings, maybe I'm putting that the wrong way. Now that I'm thinking about it, because it makes me mad. If somebody, if I allow or put myself in a position where I don't know, I mean, I can't even figure out the right way to put it. Somebody says something, somebody close to me that hits me the wrong way, or whatever the case is. Maybe it shocks me more than hurts me. It doesn't. I don't know, or surprises me, disappoints me. I don't even know. I guess I don't really know. So it doesn't happen that much, but if it's going to happen, it's in a personal relationship. Some random fucking person on the street, or some goddamn politician, or some dude at a grocery store, or
some
or
celebrity or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, somebody driving down the road or cuts me off or whatever the case is. You get that typical "roar, you bastard motherfucker," But I mean,
all day, every day.
Right? Yeah, but again, that's
you fucking
what are you
moron, and I feel bad for them because they're so fucking stupid.
Right? Yeah. At least I'm not that goddamn stupid, right?
Exactly.
At least not today.
Right.
Not at this moment, right?
Yep.
But yeah, just say I don't know. It was one of those things where as I read it, it was a thinking moment again, and like I said, it just surprised me. So I got a couple more in here for the 24-hour book, but I'll leave those for another day. So the thing I wanted to this was a news story. Okay. Well, first of all, do you want to hear an insult? Kimmy sent me this it was a meme. Either a meme or somebody said it or whatever it
I
says.
always love a good insult.
Yeah, and it says that if brain eating bacteria got into your head, it would starve.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody. My daughter said that to me, and I think it was in a meme or whatever. I just started laughing. I'm like, I need to save this. I'm putting this up I need to put this up. Talk about this on the podcast. It just fucking made me laugh. I think I've ever heard that before, but. All right, so this when I was talking about the hiking story, this was a news story. Okay, and let me pull this up. It was about a hiker, and this was in Tennessee, I believe, probably in one of the areas that I was in. But let me get into this. Let me get into this story. Okay, so man arrested. So it's not gonna turn out well. Okay. Man arrested in killing that was falsely blamed on a bear. So, this was just this week, November 11th, that this story came out. So, a man accused of murder after a 911 call about a fake bear attack in the mountains of Tennessee led authorities to a dead man last month. Has been found and arrested. So the dude was on the run, obviously after the fact.
Right.
But so what the dude did, actually called 911. Got dispatchers out there. So the sheriff's department shows up, and it says the sharing of. I'm sorry. Let me get to the actual story. The case began when a man claiming to be this particular person that was dead. Okay, so this guy called as the dead guy. Okay, the guy that ended up being dead called 911 and claimed that he was injured after he was chased by a bear and fell off a cliff. Okay, so the authorities show up. The body was found, or a body was found, with the ID of this dude that supposedly had made the phone call, but it wasn't. But it wasn't him, because his identity had been stolen and used multiple times. The person was also not killed by a bear. Detectives laid eyes on the body. Injuries of the deceased not consistent with a bear attack. Certainly not consistent even with a fall. Cause of death was found to be blunt force trauma to the head. Okay, so here's this fucking brainchild. Okay, so let's use you and I. Okay,
all right.
So we go out for a hike. Okay, and for whatever reason you've agreed to it. Number one. So let's just, again, this is a made up. We already know it's a made up story, but now it got really fucking made up because Mike went on a hike with me. So we go on a hike, and for whatever reason I want you dead. Okay.
All right.
Maybe there's several reasons, but at least one.
At least one.
So my bright idea is to beat you over the head. I'm going to lay you at the bottom of one of these cliffs, because clearly that's what happened, because it said it was not even, consistent with a
throw
fall.
Them off, right?
So apparently I'm going to lay you gently at the bottom of the thing, beat you in the head, and then say you were attacked by a bear. 911, and I'm going to call as you. This is Mike Harris. I'm dying, and then I die. You die, and I steal your identity.
Okay.
So, and I'm like, they're talking about it on the radio. They're like, wait a second. When they're first reading it, they were reading it as the way they thought the story was reading out was that the guy somehow got a bear to attack his friend, obviously to cover up. And they're like, how does he fucking coordinate this?
Right.
Then they're like, no, that didn't even happen. He just claimed it was, hi, I fell off a cliff. I'm being chased by a bear, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. I mean, the foresight and all of this stuff is just finally he got caught, obviously, because he's, stole the guy's identity.
Yeah.
But I've been to a number of these places, okay, with these cliffs, and this might be a sick thought, but I mean, right off the bat, I'm like, all you have to do is fucking take somebody out there and fucking push them off a cliff.
Yeah, right.
Fucking case closed.
Yeah.
If I really, so here's how this could go. Hey, Mike, you want to go on a hike? And again, for every goddamn reason you say yes.
Yay.
And I'm like, make sure you bring your wallet. And you're like, why would I want to bring my wallet? So now I got to make up some excuse. Well, you got to have your ID in case, I don't know, getting into the park, they need ID. It could happen. It's never happened to all the places I've been, but it could.
Sure.
You got your credit cards with you, right?
Sure.
Why do I need my credit cards? Well, again, sometimes there's fees. They do take credit cards. Okay. One last thing, Mike. Can you grab? You got your Social Security card with you, right?
Always.
Great. Now, now I get you to the top. One of these fucking overlooks. I'm like, Mike, take a selfie right there, and I just fucking kick you in the chest. So you're taking a selfie. I kick you in the chest. When they find you, your phone, you can see a selfie. You're like, ah. So
right.
And then I call 911 and say my friend was taking a selfie and he fell off the wall.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing, though. How do I steal your identity?
Right.
I mean, at that point, unless...
Well, why? Okay, so there's the huge question I have is, you call as this guy, you say he's dead, and then you take his identity. You've already proven that he's dead. You've reported that he's dead.
I know.
Why? Okay. Clearly, this guy is really fucking smart.
I know.
No, what you say is, hi, I'm me. Okay, so let's do this, right? You take me out there, you call and you say, "Hi, my name's Bill. I'm falling off a fucking cliff." Right. And then you become me. So you throw me off, you say that it was you. Again,
it still doesn't work, right?
well, I mean, it worked a little better, at
right.
least until they
I mean,
figure out that it's not. Yeah, right.
That's the only thing that I could do, because I figure
Pretty sure my fingerprints are on file somewhere.
right. Well, I got to tell you, remind me of Kylie in a minute. I'll tell you about that.
They-
But so the worst case scenario is that if I do, all this stuff sets up and you brought your whatever. So I still, after I kick you off the cliff, so I got that part done. Now I got to get all the way down to the
That's
bottom
the
of the
easy
cliff.
part.
That is the easy part. Hey, dumbass, take a selfie. I like taking selfies, so yeah, sure, Bill.
Sure.
And then, so I just, again, chest kick you and you're off the cliff. That's, again, easy part.
Mm-hmm.
But now, like this one cliff that this one place, it was a 750-foot cliff. Okay.
All right. That'll do it.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Step one, done. No issues. No issues at all. But your wallet is with you.
Yeah.
So all this work that I did to try to have you bring all your shit, I'm like, well, fuck. And I'm peering over the edge. I'm like, how the fuck do I get down there? So now I got to figure out how to get down there. And this and that. Oh, it's just a fucking mess. And worst case scenario, that I got to go all the way back up, and I'm tired. Now I got to call 911. And it's been 2 hours since I chest kicked you off the fucking cliff, which, time, what does it matter? Right.
Right.
But still, I'm going to be stuck on this fucking cliff explaining the story and, with the police, so probably whatever. So I can't even start stealing your identity, or at least charging up credit cards or doing something until the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can't, then I got to go. I'm done.
Right.
I got to run. I mean, I can't just hang out and be like, no, it wasn't me. Must have been Mike. Well, wait a second. He fell off a cliff on Saturday, and he was at fucking Best Buy on Wednesday.
Yep.
Yep. I don't know. Power greater than himself was there, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, I'm listening to this. I'm like, oh, this guy's one of the. I mean, always, people say, criminals, that they just worked as hard at trying to figure out these fucking quote unquote perfect crimes.
Mm-hmm.
If they just worked a goddamn job, think about all they might be able to accomplish, but maybe not if they're that stupid trying to. It's just, none of this made any sense to me.
No, none of it makes any sense. No.
And that's why the only thing that I might be able to do, if I were to convince, again, you, my good friend Mike, to come up on a hike with me, I might be able to kick you off the cliff. That's about it. But even that, there could be people around, so I got to wait for the perfect moment. Then all of a sudden, you go over to the other side, and I see people walking on the trail. I'm like, well, fuck, I'm never getting his ass out here again. So I got to figure this out now.
Right.
It's just, it's a bad plan.
Yeah. That's exactly. Go get a job.
Yeah. Yes, go get a job. So yeah, with the, like you said, with the fingerprints and stuff like that. So Kylie was back here last weekend, and she's going with Evan over Thanksgiving. They're going down to Disney World with his family. So cool. Are you? Yeah, we still got to figure out Thanksgiving stuff. But so she was, I don't know, going to do the TSA pre-board thing, whatever.
Sure.
And then she's like, she was about to walk. I was sitting here in the bedroom, and the door opened. She's like, "Oh, yep, I'm gonna go give the government my fingerprints." As she's walking down the stairs, I'm like, fuck, they already got mine. And she's laughing. I'm like several times. She's laughing again. And I said, and it wasn't for any fun reasons either. I've never given my fingerprints. Well, maybe I did when I had to get a license one time for work, but like a state license, I think I had to get fingerprinted for.
Right.
But other than that, I've never been fingerprinted for fun. It's usually been, they take off the cuffs and they're fingerprinting me.
Yeah. It's been my experience.
So have you ever been fingerprinted by one of the electronic ones where you didn't have to do the ink?
I don't think so.
The last, again, thankfully, the last time I got arrested, it was at was I at the Menominee Falls Police Department or Waukesha? I don't know, whichever one it was. They're like, they're like, here we go, electronic one. They're like, the machine's down. He's like, we have to do it the old fashioned way. I'm like, well, what's the other one? And I didn't know. Right. Thankfully, I hadn't. I think the last time I had been fingerprinted had been a little bit, but He's like, yeah, he goes, it's electronic, no ink, whatever. He's just, voot, 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 voot. I'm like,
Right.
really? I'm like, well, at least if I was going to get arrested, I could have got the cool machine. And
Right.
the cop kind of giggled. He kind of giggled when I said it, And I'm like, yeah, got to look at the bright side, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've just had the, where they fucking take your hand and
Yep.
So yeah, anyhow. But
yep. No, thankfully it's been over 15 years since.
It's been a little while.
Imagine that.
Yeah, like I always said, I've been arrested 5 times in my life, and not one of them since I've been sober. I've barely even been yelled at since I've been sober.
No.
Let alone pulled over or
right.
beaten by not even manhandled by a fucking cop or something or whatever. So
yeah.
Yeah, I never got.
This may surprise you, but I was a little mouthy when I was drunk.
Yeah, well, twice. Well, the first time I got arrested was underage drinking. And I don't know if I ever told you that, because it was not technically, it was the last physical day of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this party that a bunch of us went out to, and two of our friends were 18, so they rented a hotel room, and we're gonna fucking drink all night, and then go to graduation practice the next morning.
Right.
And Pam and I had just gotten together then too, so it was me and my bunch of my friends. We ended up getting kicked out of the hotel. So all we were going to do, we weren't driving anywhere, just going to sit in the car. Me and my buddy, we were sitting in the car, and we were he had a Mustang. We're sitting in his car drinking, and we got hungry, of course, So we're like, we're going to go get some food. And at that time, had no idea what time it was. Neither one of us had a watch on, clearly. No cell phones back in the mid-'80s. So we're just walking down the street. The couple of fast food restaurants were closed. We're going to go down to a gas station, kind of like almost like a not a giant eagle. What is the Get-Go?
Get-Go, right?
Concept of that, Fucking cop rolls up on us, and it's I don't know what time it was, probably midnight. There's a curfew in Waukesha for like 11 p.m. So they're asking us whatever. I got my fake ID on me. I'm lying about who I am, this and that. My buddy's not saying anything, being completely truthful. I'm lying, fucking lying, smart mouth, whatever.
Right.
Oh, when they cuffed me, ooh, they made sure they fit. They made sure they were snug.
Right.
Yeah, it's a male and a female cop, and they were having none of me. And then I was supposed to be out in Oconomowoc, which is 20 miles one way. I was out in Waukesha, 20 miles the other way. Mom gets a call at whatever time, fucking 1 or 30 or 2 in the morning. Then I'm in the fucking Waukesha jail, has to come pick me up. And then all the way home, she's like, and they're telling me that I was with my buddy Lee. She's like, they're telling me that Lee was being fine, but you were mouthy, and you weren't cooperative, and you were this and that, blah blah blah. And I was just like, I'm fucking loaded, man. I'm like, whatever. I don't hear this shit right now. I hear none of it. But yeah, so you were a little mouthy too, huh?
Oh yeah. Did you ever hear of a prostrate chair?
I don't know why it sounds familiar, but explain.
Well, it's this chair that they strap you into. Yeah. I had I was fucking pretty damn close to being in a blackout, very browned. Got off a bus. I was going to see this girl I was seeing at the time. And I'm walking across the parking lot, and there's a couple of sheriffs standing there, and they are like, hey, clearly I was intoxicated. They were like, let's see your ID. And I don't have to show you my ID, you fucking Nazis. Yeah, they didn't like that too much. So yeah, they threw me in the back of the car, took me to the county jail, put me in the prostrate chair. And several hours later, apparently they didn't put me in all as tight as they thought they did. I had gotten myself mostly out of it. I mean, I was still handcuffed. I brought my arms from behind me over my head, and I'm still sitting in the chair, but my arms are in front of me now. They're supposed to be behind me. And yeah, one of them stuck their head in the cell, and I waved to them. Oh, they didn't like that. So yeah, they tuned me up a little bit more and put me back in the chair the right way, and tightened me down real good. Left me in there for another probably 5 or 6 hours. And, oh yeah. And you know what? There's no record of it anywhere.
Oh,
Yeah,
isn't that nice?
they let me go after probably about 12 hours or so. They just fucking kicked me back out onto the street, and there's no record of me being there.
That's kind of scary too, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when you think about that, they're like, yeah, you could have fucking disappeared. Yeah, the only other time is I got arrested at a bar. It was with and I think I talked about this, but Pam and I were there, and she drank too much and went in the women's bathroom with her into a stall because she was going to throw up, and I got manhandled out of there. And cops called domestic situation, so I got arrested, and it wasn't. We weren't fighting.
Right.
You know, it was like the one night in 3 years that we hadn't been fighting. You know, I end up in fucking jail, and I was so unruly when they took me in. Same thing. I was telling the cop to fucking fight me.
Right.
in the jail. I mean,
Right.
getting right up to him like, "God, you fucking idiot, fucking." And this big dude too, I remember, and he just stood there, and I'm like, God, he could have fucking killed me.
Yep.
But they didn't even process me that night. They just put me in the cell, shut it. You know this, and I remember it was a single one with a door, not the bars or anything like that. And I'm yelling and screaming out the fucking window, and when again the day cop, morning cop comes in and gets me, and he's like, yeah, he goes, apparently I got to process you. And he's looking at the notes, and he's like looking at this, and he's looking at me, and I'm being like, you know, yes, officer, whatever.
Right.
Thank you. No, thank you. And he said, so who was this guy last night? And, you know, literally he goes, number one, the way you look, the way you're acting right now. And I'm like, yeah, it was a night, you know, that's all I could say.
Right.
I mean, because I wasn't the same guy as I was, you know, fucking 8 hours or 6 hours earlier,
Right.
you know?
Real Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation. I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah. Like I said, yeah, they didn't even, the guy, same thing. Speaking of fingerprinting, he didn't fingerprint me. He processed me, literally processed me the next morning because I was too unruly to deal with. And they're like, fuck this dude, get in there, fucker. Anyhow, so
good times.
As we end that off with drunk stories. Speaking about gratitude month, pretty fucking grateful I don't have to deal with that shit anymore. How about you, Mike?
I'm grateful I don't have to live that way today.
Exactly. So, all right, man, your turn.
Wow. All right. Well,
didn't mean to surprise you or anything. We can keep talking. You
no, I'm about done.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to another episode of Sober Not Mature. As always, be kind to each other, be good to each other. Go out there and do something nice for somebody else this week, and don't tell anybody you did it. And now, from the bottom of my heart to the depths of my soul, from the beginning of time till the ends of the earth, always and eternally, fuck you. And now it's time, kids. It is that time. It's time for you to fuck off. Then keep fucking off. Well, keep fucking off till you get to that gate with a sign on it saying, you cannot fuck off past here. Climb over that gate. Dream your impossible dream and keep fucking off forever.
Got one more quick thing to say. So one of our followers messaged, remember the beeping and stuff I was talking about?
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so he messaged, and Al Fitz. Do you know who Al is? He's one of our Instagram. I don't know if he's a Facebook follower. Okay. But anyhow, Al, thank you for listening.
What does Al fit?
But yeah, so he'll message every once in a while. I think he's commented on shit, but it seems like a nice guy. But he said, he goes, first of all, you know, he goes, I like the intro. He goes, I know all of them. He goes, pretty much by heart, you know, now. And then he goes, no, he goes, I think it's great. He said, but he goes, the ending with the whole Breeze thing, he says, that kind of freaks me out a little bit. So it must just be the fuck off.
Right.
But I said, I just kind of laughed at it. I said, well, thank you. And I said, it's all that shit's in easily the first 6 months are clips from our intro. And I just kind of put classic, whatever, blah, blah, blah. He messaged back because I thanked him, obviously, for his comment. And he goes, yeah, no problem. He goes, those fuckers better appreciate it.
Nice.
Which is your line through one of the intros. So
I know. Yes. Yeah. Well, Al, you fucker, thank you for appreciating it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, man. So I think we're done. Well, I know we're done, but I know we'll talk soon. How's that?
We shall.
All right. Love you, brother.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye. And now it is time for you to fuck off. Then keep fucking off. Keep fucking off until you get to a gate with a sign on it saying you cannot fuck off past here.
climb over that gate, dream the impossible dream, and keep fucking off forever.